That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't,
quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Ryan Clark versus Robert Griffin III. So I've heard about this all throughout the day. I've seen a couple little things, but I haven't actually watched the clips myself. So without further ado, here we go.
We moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country.
Oh, dang, RC. Dang, RC. Dang, RC. I ain't gonna lie though. I'll say this. RC talking like how people talk off camera, behind the scenes. Not even gonna lie to you, bro. That's bold though. So I feel like what RG3 said when he said, you know, you took it personal, and then I didn't see the rest of what he said, but he said you took it personal, RC. RC did. So we'll see what he said in response.
About what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. Ooh. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're.
That man said both of your marriages. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm RG3, I'm swinging right then when he said both of your marriages. That's crazy. That's crazy. RC talking crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Whatever RG3 response was, it might have been a reasonable crash out. I cannot lie.
Seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese, and the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady. I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always.
Now RC is cooking. I'm not gonna lie. RC is cooking with this point. He was tripping when he went too personal, below the belt. But when he's bringing it back general to like general society things, that's I'm like, he's cooking.
Always feel like they have to go to extra.
And at the end of the day, RC is from Louisiana. He went to LSU. He interviewed Flau'jae and Angel Reese right after they won the championship. Like, he protecting his little sister. You know what I mean? He protecting his LSU sister. He protecting his little sister. He protecting his Black sister, his young Black sister, and things of that sort. So, I ain't gonna lie. Like, he went personal. He went a little low blow, but like he defended Angel Reese in the name of Angel Reese. Do I think some of it was like kind of like you could have made your point without going below the belt the way you did? Yeah. At the same time, I think bro did it because ratings. So, anyways,
Mile to
I mean, it made RG3 respond in a way that was like, "Yo, you out of pocket, whoa, whoa, whoa." And it responded in a way that like has me reacting to it now.
prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over black women by denigrating black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes. And I think this is what I like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racist, he'll be no less black than me.
Hold up.
I also think like what RG3 said, if y'all don't know, RG3 said that he thinks Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and it was just all one-sided. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. And it wasn't any like the stuff that Caitlin was doing too to Angel. Like Caitlin not innocent in this, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like what everybody's saying, hate is such a strong word to say. Like me personally, like I said, I created the video. I said I don't think they don't like each other and they don't have to act like they like each other anymore. Not liking each other, someone, and hating someone is two different things. Not liking someone, we could still patch things up, you know what I'm saying, after our playing days, everything like that, right? Hating each other, I don't rock with you. I don't want to kick it with you. I don't want to skate with you for the rest of life. And just forget you and just forget you forever. Until unalive do us apart.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But I think all of you know there's a line.
It wasn't purely based on basketball. It wasn't. You can't even make a take about Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark purely based on basketball. Like my video was titled what it was, and it was like 18 minutes. The first 3 to 5 minutes I'm talking about, and I said this yesterday on yesterday's stream. First 3 to 5 minutes I'm talking about how Caitlin and Angel both improved their games from last season and some of the work that they put in over the offseason. How Angel expanded her range and Tyler Marsh has her a more point forward situation. She's starting a lot of the offensive sets from around the perimeter now, as opposed to like kind of down low on the block where Camilla's on this side of the block, Angel's on this side of the block. They get the ball to Angel. She works. If she can't get the rebound, then hope Camilla gets it or she dumps it off to Camilla. And they play a two-man, a two-big game down low on the post. It's not looking that like anymore. It's looking kind of like Angel Reese in the role of a roller, right? From the perimeter and kind of serving in the Draymond Green role where it's like, okay, I could lob it up to Camilla or I could just keep it myself and go for the lay or go for the jumper because she's shooting more jumpers now after Unrivaled 3-on-3. You're forced to play more guard skills in 3-on-3 at Unrivaled. I'm rambling, but I'm saying I said all this for like the first 3-5 minutes of the video. And I said Caitlin got stronger and she's becoming more efficient. And it seems like she's just making smarter decisions out on the court. She gets it. Like her confidence is there. She knows how to lead the team now. Like I'm saying all these things that both of them improved on. That's pure basketball. Saying Angel Reese don't like Caitlin Clark because in the press conference she said next question when asked about Caitlin Clark, and then she charged at her after she made a foul on her in the basketball. And she tweeted, "Oh, I don't like, that's not based on basketball. That's just based on social media and interviews and things surrounding basketball." It's a difference.
Life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off.
Also, RC and the Pivot, they had TP and they've had Sydney Colson on the Pivot. They've had Don Staley on the Pivot. They talk about women's basketball every now and again, whether or not like Channing Crowder wants to admit that he watches it and everything like that. Fred T, he's pretty kind of down with the movement, whatever motion like Ryan's going and things of that sort. First of all, shout out to the pivot, bro. Like they've really done it. Like RC's built himself. Obviously, he already had his thing with ESPN, but he's really carved out a great space for himself in podcasting. I don't agree with everything he said. He said one thing that I was like, "What? That's weird." But other than that, like he be saying his points and stuff like that, getting it off. And then Channing is a whole comedian. He started doing stand up last year, and he's a funny guy. Freddie T is just cool, and he stand on business. He has his own unique opinions as well, and his thought is independent. So I rock with Freddie T as well. So salute to them boys for like surviving and outlasting. If you know, you know. Shout out to Brandon as well, bro. I rock with Brandon too. I wasn't there at those negotiation business tables and all that they had disagreements on before they fell apart and split ways. But my brief interaction with Brandon, bro, was solid, and he was cool, and he was supportive, and he was asking me questions off camera. You know what I'm saying? So, like, genuine conversation. It won't just like we have a conversation, the camera cut off, and all right, they head to the car and go to the next interview. Like, he like a genuine cool dude. So, shout out Brandon Marshall as well.
Limits. And Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person.
Notice he don't have his wife in the background for this one, by the way. But the couches are white.
Might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around.
This room is fire with I know I'm pausing every 2 seconds. I'm sorry. But this room is fire with the joints, what they call the Punkos or Punko toys, Punkos collectibles. They look fire. And he got the Vegeta, the Goku, the whole Super Saiyan lineup right here. Salute.
Around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. But Ryan, you crossed the line, man. You made it personal and some.
I think Ryan Clark saying that when he worked with him at ESPN, he used to walk around making corny jokes a lot. I think beyond just having a white wife and everything like that, I think the thing that really triggers Robert Griffin III is the word corny, just based off of the entire Rob Parker situation where he called him a cornball brother on First Take, and then, they fired him from ESPN, and he was like, it's okay because I do real estate around Detroit and stuff. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't know if that was a leak or whatever, but yeah. Buddy's good. Buddy's good in Detroit and stuff like that. And I think he just does sports media now just for like Rob Parker. He just does it now because he's like, I don't know. He just loves it. But he been had the money. Like, he good.
I really believe there should be no space in sports media for personal attacks. I've said it before. But certainly personal attacks against wife and children.
That's a whole personal attack against Angel Reese, bro. Like, the reason why people defending Angel Reese so much, I'll be more specific since we want to act dense and we want to act like we don't know what's going on. The reason why Black people are acting so protective of Angel Reese when somebody says something that could be potentially harmful for Angel Reese, the reason why is because Angel Reese is the one receiving the unalive threats for the past 3 years. Angel Reese is the one who's had to deal with the AI, you know what I'm saying, leak new picture, all that. She's the one who's had to deal with that, with the over sexualization, and yes, I know that Angel be wearing booty shorts and this and that, and she did a shoot where she was in some lingerie, and yeah, I get it, but at the same time, it's like it goes overboard. Like, y'all act like she was moving like Brittany Renner, bro. She wasn't moving like no Brittany Renner, no Ruby Rose. Angel was not moving like that, bro. She was just being her. She was being thick, and she was embracing her beauty and her figure and everything like that. as a young woman, bro. Any other young woman on the internet, 22, 23 years old, built like that and receive compliments and stuff, they gonna post thirst traps all day. Like Angel Reese don't even be on that for real, to be honest, if he keeping it a bean. She don't post it that much. She has leaned into it sometimes, but anyways, I'm getting off track. Angel Reese has been over sexualized. Angel Reese has been threatened. Angel Reese has been unfairly criticized. Angel Reese has been labeled a thug. Angel Reese has been labeled as trash. Angel Reese has been labeled as anything less than a human being, simply because she is a black woman who talks trash. She's a black woman who is kind of unapologetically herself. No pun intended with the unapologetically Angel podcast. Like no pun intended. Like that's just who she is. And a lot of white people don't like that. A lot of people that don't like loud black people don't like the way that she moves because she's a loud black person. It is what it is. So it stems from that. And it stems from her being kind of the antidote or you know what I'm saying, the opposite person, the opposition, quote unquote, of their superstar, their kind of white savior, white Jesus, whatever you want to say, of Caitlin Clark. Also, I have to say this. I rock with Caitlin Clark. Duh. Like, I'm one of the first people on YouTube to react to Caitlin Clark because of Kurt Johnson. Kurt, I hope Kurt is doing well. He hasn't commented on my stuff in a long time. So I hope Kurt is doing well. Mind you, my content has changed a lot to a lot more commentary as opposed to just pure hoops reactions and things of that sort and everything like that. So I get it if Kurt just like moved on from the channel, but Kurt was the first one to tell me about Caitlin Clark, her freshman season in Iowa, before anybody else was talking about her for real, on a level like that. The Iowa games were empty, home games were empty and stuff like that. And I was reacting to it, dancing around my mama's room, bro, on like, I want to say it was Christmas break because I was living in my Mississippi at the time, but I was back home in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? This is documented on YouTube, me gassing Caitlin for years. I rock with Caitlin Clark. I love the way she can pass the ball and outlet passes and, you know, all the way up the court, and her handle behind the back, between the legs. Her handle is dirty and her jump shots are exciting, bro. It is. The look away threes are exciting. I like Caitlin Clark. At the same time, the way that Angel Reese has been talked about and covered is unfair, and it's placed her in positions to be threatened, to be hypersexualized and called anything but a child of God. The way they be talking about Angel Reese, you be thinking she like the worst player in the WNBA. You be thinking she like Samuel Dallenberg. And Samuel Dallenberg in his prime was something now. But they be talking like she's Samuel Dallenberg, bro. She's an WNBA All-Star as a rookie. She had 17 points, 13 rebounds in that game against Indiana to open the season. She was the fastest player in WNBA history. I want to say, don't quote me, but I believe fastest player in WNBA history to record over 450 points and over 450 rebounds. So it's like, you can't say she bad. I don't care what y'all want to say. She was just the defensive player of the year at Unrivaled, bro. Like, what are we talking about? And it's takes like that. Like, I never heard RG3 talk about Caitlin Clark's game, Angel Reese's game. I never heard him talk about Nafisa Collier. I never heard him talk about Brianna Stewart and New York returning this season without Benijah Laney and Courtney Vandersloot. And what does it look like now that half the Tatum is gone, half the gang is gone of the quote-unquote super team formed a couple of years ago? It's just her, Jonquel, and Sabrina Ionescu now. Like, what's it going? Like, I haven't heard any of these discussions from Robert Griffin III, bro. I haven't heard how does Atlanta look now that they have Brittany Griner and Carson Mesco. And on top of that, they have another all-star forward or former center, now forward, coming into the lineup with Bree Jones. And who's their point guard? They just cut Haley Jones, and Ari McDonald just got, I haven't heard any of these discussions from Robert Griffin III. But as soon as Caitlin shoved Angel after the common foul, it was a common foul, and then Caitlin shoved Angel after the foul. And that's why Angel got up and charged at her. As soon as Angel got back up off that court and charged after Angel Reese and had to be restrained by her teammates and coaching staff, you the first person to drop a video about it. Nah, brother, where you been on Rival? Where you been in WNBA preseason? Where have you been WNBA draft? Where have you been the women's basketball tournament? Where have you been, brother? So it's like, yeah, bro. Like when you jump on something like that immediately, it shows that you're not even in it for the culture and you don't respect the culture. You're just in it for the money, which is cool. Get your money, but don't when somebody come bark back at you, say, "Oh, I kept it basketball and you took it personal." No, you did not keep it basketball. Stop lying to yourself with that, bro.
Have always
I've interviewed RG3, by the way, and he gave a great answer. And I asked him about black quarterbacks. This was last year at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. It was with Donovan McNabb. Look it up on my channel. It was a great interview. He gave a good answer. Well, it was just one question, but he gave a great answer in that question about the history of black quarterbacks and what it means to be a black quarterback in the league and everything like that. So, but this is a critique of the way that you do media coverage. The same way with Shaq. Shaq been nothing but cool to me, everything like that, and our few interactions with each other. However, Shaq get paid $14 million to talk NBA on Turner, and he thought Chauncey Billups was coaching the Detroit Pistons.
has been off limits. Brian, you attacked me and my family in a public forum on a level that shows just how low of a human being you are. You can disagree with me all you want. Challenge my takes, but keep my family and my wife out of it. That's a boundary that should always be respected, man. Always. Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for ESPN. It's cowardly, it's spineless, and it's weak. Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family. Personally because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for him as a man. I hope you get the help you need, brother.
That's crazy. So instead of apologizing to Angel Reese for what you said, you going after Ryan Clark for what he said about you. Not understand Angel Reese and black women and the black woman's perspective because you don't have a black woman in your home. You ain't never once looked at Angel Reese like the whole thing is about like you disrespecting black women. You not stepping for black women in a public forum in a public way. That's what this entire thing was about. And you missed the point. You missed the point. Because he pointed out the fact that your wife was white and the wife before that was white. Now, see, RC, like I said, saying both of your wives were white is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's a low blow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a bit personal. That's a personal dig, everything like that. You going into that man family history. I like to stay away from, keep my distance from love and romance topics and things of that sort. If you seen the Iman Shumpert video on my channel, the whole time I'm just saying I like to keep my distance from this. This ain't really, because this one get tricky. So that's what that is. Let me read this Meg thing. I didn't even have it as a
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.